Welcome to the Sneaky Monique Radio Show. I'm your host, Monique, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be interviewing a very special guest. She's in the world of finance, if you will. Our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is Ms. Ashli Cleaver Basco.
Hi, how are you doing today?
How are you?
I am doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. So, Ms. Ashli, I have a few questions I would like to ask you, okay? And also to know a little bit more about you. I understand that you are a medical underwriter for some of the major corporations as well as an insurance broker. So, explain a little bit about how you got into that field, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, ma'am. Great. I got my licenses, both my life insurance and my health insurance licenses back in 2018. And prior to that, I just did pretty much every single sales job. I've done door-to-door sales before that, got into sales originally in 2016. I met my husband. He hired me at my first ever sales job, and I originally did door-to-door. And I was very good at sales. I actually love it. And I've done it over, it's almost since 2016. I guess we're pushing 8 years of sales. So I just wanted to, definitely didn't see myself doing door-to-door forever. So I ended up, after I realized I'm good at sales and I did it in person for a long time, I also did business-to-business sales. But then I was I wanted more control over my time and just where I worked, because in person you kind of have to deal with the weather. At the time I lived in Colorado where it would snow, so there were seasons where it was a little bit brutal, just kind of having to. So I was I wonder if I can do virtual sales, and I've heard a lot of good stuff about the insurance industry. So I ended up starting out selling health insurance, and I did that from 2019 to 2023, and that's when I switched to life insurance. And now I'm an independent contractor with over 45 life insurance companies, and I specialize in selling life insurance and annuities and just financial services and products. But that's kind of a little bit of my background.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So what I would like to let our listeners know, because you're independent contractor and you have background there, as far as working for major corporations, being independent as well, have you noticed people being fearful about getting life insurance or not having enough of life insurance?
Oh, yeah. The life insurance, a lot of these life insurance companies, Mutual of Omaha, Americo, Transamerica, they've literally been around over 100 years. So that's what attracted me to this industry, is the longevity of this industry. It's been around for so long, and it's something unlike health insurance where there was a lot of other options for people, government-assisted, government-funded life insurance, such as Medicaid, and there's Obamacare now where it's with private life insurance or health insurance companies, but the government pays a portion of your premium. With life insurance, there's nothing interfering with it, and the only competition is the other carriers. So yeah, just no matter someone's income or health or situation or age, everyone kind of needs life insurance, because that's one thing we all have in common is we are alive and we are going to experience death, and we experience it with our loved ones and our family. So that's also what I really, really enjoy about this industry is I can help, the 75-year-old that's very old and just wants the cremation policy, or a 30-year-old who just bought a home and just wants a term policy to cover their mortgage, during the duration of their mortgage. So it is definitely something that can be for everyone. And there are, I do come across people who want more coverage or want a different type of policy. And it's nice to be able to have access to so many companies and service my clients and be able to tailor the policy to their needs and what it is that they're looking for.
Okay, awesome. Then people get tripped up on the types of life insurance policies like term life, whole life, universal. Can you expound on that, please?
Yes, of course. Sorry, I had to cough there, so I muted myself. But there's pretty much 4 types of life insurance policies that exist, and give or take, there are hybrids of each, but there's obviously the universal life insurance, there's index universal, there's term, accidental, and then there's whole life. And some companies have like a continuation type of product where the term converts into whole life, but it's just for a portion of what the death benefit is for term. So those are kind of the main different options you can go, and what kind of with whole life and universal and index universal, those are like lifelong options, policies that you can keep for your entire life, as long as you're current with your premium payments, and they also build cash value. And then on the flip side, there's the term, which is very good for someone that's just looking to cover their mortgage for 30 years. Terms tend to be good for 10, 20, 30, 35, or even 40 years. Actually, this year, there's a few of the carriers I work with offer a 40-year term, but they're typically for people in their 30s and 40s, but not older. But yeah, that's kind of the biggest difference is like some policies are going to last your whole life and then the others are term, but with term, it is more affordable for the higher coverage amount. So you can definitely cover the remaining balance of your mortgage with a term, and it's typically a lot more affordable than doing that with something that's permanent. But that's kind of like a very brief description of them and differences. Obviously, I can...
Yeah,
yes,
go ahead.
ma'am.
Let me cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, that's just like a brief summary of each, and there's obviously more details of it, but those are the main differences and like features in the policy.
Awesome. So other questions, and so I know I've always struggled with which one was best, which one should I get, and I love the fact that you mentioned how individuals can actually use their life insurance to kind of cover their mortgage if need be, which is important. And a lot of people are afraid of getting life insurance, or even you see it commonly people having what you call a GoFundMe's or some sort of fundraiser to cover their funeral expenses, where having a life insurance policy can help with that as well.
Yes, ma'am, of course. I mean, GoFundMe, that's not free, like they profited millions of dollars last year. So they do profit off your misery, not to say that life insurance companies don't, but, when you do that fundraiser, it's not like all of that money that you raise goes to the family. A portion of it goes to GoFundMe. So with a life insurance policy, it's predictable. It'll pay out the full lump sum death benefit to the beneficiary that you've chosen. And it also just gives you just a peace of mind because as long as you go through the underwriting process, you get approved, it's guaranteed to pay out. So it's just a lot more stable in comparison to GoFundMe, and it allows your family and the people closest to you to mourn and focus on just their healing and the mourning of your loss versus in addition to the mourning, having to raise money and fund a burial or cremation. And in this economy, in these days, people don't have thousands of dollars just laying around. So it becomes very stressful when they have to, adjust to life without you. And find the means to bury you, because it falls on the people closest to you, unfortunately.
For sure,
so it's always wise. And sometimes, it's wise to just start small. You don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to bury someone and to, give your family that peace of mind. If you want to be cremated, it's $2,000 to $4,000, And then a burial is 8 to 15,000 these days. It can be more depending on how fancy, but you can definitely bury someone between 8 and 15,000. So, sometimes, some people get discouraged with the price, when they wait too long, and it's, you don't have to. I'm sure your family would, benefit from even you just having a smaller policy to simply cover the final expenses. That's like the bare bones, and whatever is left over they could keep. But
for sure,
definitely something, like in this country, it's mandated to have like car insurance, home insurance, but not insurance on your life. It's something that should be just as important. It's just not, it's just not illegal to not have it. So people don't think about it sometimes, but yeah. And it's also very important to read your work coverage policies. I know a lot of people think that that's enough coverage. I've had clients of mine who wish they had more private insurance because, for instance, I've had a client where she had a policy with me for her husband, but they only had about 20,000 with me, and then they said that they had the majority of their coverage through work. At the time when he passed, the job that he worked at did not pay out the death benefit because he had too many absences the month that he passed, because obviously he was in the hospital. He was in the hospital for quite some time, so she only got the $20,000 with me. She ended up getting a larger policy on herself, but she kind of wished that she got more coverage. But I'm glad she even had that with me, but she wanted it to cover the final expenses if he passed after retiring. But with work coverage, there's a huge difference of work coverage and like a personal policy with the life insurance policy company. When you have a personal policy, it's a contract between you and the insurance carrier that it will pay out to your beneficiary no matter where, when, or how you pass away. There's not many stipulations other than suicide in the first 2 years. But outside of that, it will pay out. It does not matter where you work, where you pass away, even if it's out of the country, it'll still pay out. With work coverages, there is so much stipulation. So I think that's important as well for people to understand that it's never a bad idea to have coverage on yourself directly with the life insurance company, and it's something that should be mandated. It's very important. It's just as important as your car, and you insure your home.
Exactly.
You should insure your life for your family. And then,
right.
And then work coverage is good because it's free, but it's not the best quality of coverage.
I agree. Because the example you just gave was the prime example as to why you should have a backup type of life insurance coverage for sure.
Where there's not all these little, where it's not all those little stipulations. Like you got to be doing this amount of hours and this, unless it's a job, typically, unless you pass away on the job. But a lot of the times they have a lot of stipulations as to what you have to do in order for it to pay out.
Like whether you being full-time or part-time, they have certain benefits for full-time people, certain benefits for part-time people, for sure. One of the question I wanted to ask you, Ashley, was you're a medical underwriter. So are there specific things that you look for during the application process? Like some things with people, I'm not sure they're afraid to say or discuss, or report these things here because they might get denied.
So I try to make my clients feel as comfortable as possible. What I tell them is I work for you. You're my client. I work for you, not the insurance companies. It doesn't really matter to me which company you go with. But I ensure them that no matter what's in your record, there's actually an option for you. It may not be the $1 million policy that you're hoping for, but no matter what's in your health history or what you're going through, there's actually a company that will approve you. And you can at least get $25,000, $30,000, your burial costs. That's for someone who currently has cancer and stuff like that. But I let them know that, I'm going to find out one way or the other when I submit the application. So I suggest you just be honest with me now. I try to do a very good job with just asking all the health questions and being very thorough, because it just helps us not have to go through 5 applications to kind of help guide me to which company we should apply with, because believe it or not, they all have their own guidelines that are very different. Like for one company, diabetes is good, but it can't be diagnosed before age 50. However, there's 5 companies where diabetes is fine, it just can't be diagnosed before 35. So depending on your situation, when you've been diagnosed, what your pre-existing conditions are, I can look at the guidelines and literally guide you to where you can get approved, because I know that can be a hassle as well,
Sure.
and and I also insure clients, I love coming across someone that's been declined, and that's given up on it, because here I come with my 45 carriers, and I love a challenge. And I don't remember the last time. The only time I've had a client where I couldn't get them coverage is because they wanted this, they got declined a lot of places, and they wanted like an abnormal, like very high coverage amount, and that was hard to do, but there's always some sort of option for you. Just sometimes, but no matter what's in your health history, there's an option and a policy and a plan that you can get approved for.
That's for sure, because I work with you myself, and she is not lying to you guys. She was able to get me a life insurance policy, so she's definitely telling you guys the truth. There's no lie there, no jokes there.
No. And I think you have trouble getting approved before me?
I did. Yes, I did. It's like, man, I'm like, I should have got this like some years ago. I did have life insurance policy, but things change and stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, I got with you, and it was like, I got you. I'm like, man, okay, no problem. Here's your policy, everything like that. And you explained things to me when I had questions, even when
yeah, and I'm there for life. I've had my license since 2019. I plan on doing this forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going anywhere. I have a very large book of business, and I'm there for any customer service, any questions, even far down the line. I think we signed you up over a year ago, and you text me, I answer within 5 minutes almost all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
I take it very seriously, and I know it's not just like here's a policy, bye. I am here for any questions or anything that you need of me. I do this for people, and I'm self-employed, so I just do try to take care of my clients as much as possible, because it does come back to me.
Yes, it does, for sure.
It does.
Some people are concerned about their credit score. Like, how does their credit score, if their credit score even impact them getting life insurance coverage? Is that something?
Great question. And I have people ask me that weekly, and honestly, it doesn't affect it at all whatsoever. The only thing the insurance companies take a look at is your health records and your prescription drug profile. There are some companies that will even go a step further and send out a nurse to draw your blood and have you do just like a very basic physical, where they check your vitals and do a blood and urine sample, but they do send out a nurse to your home. So it's only a health check. It's never anything ever to do with your credit. It's no sort of credit check or anything like that. So it's actually irrelevant. What type of credit score you have doesn't matter at all when it comes to pertaining to getting approved for life insurance.
Some other questions that I heard about, I would like to ask you. And one thing in particular I heard about was when people are on they're at the nursing home on a deathbed, there's this form that's filled out. It's like an addendum, if you will, or something of the sort. Is that something like done in addition to the life insurance that they ask? Like, it's not the last will and testament, but it's another form people fill out to figure out what is going to be done with them. Does that tie into like the life insurance policy and the will and the testament, that form?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, honestly. I know that all you have to do to file a death claim is or file like a claim with the life insurance company in order to have your beneficiary get that full lump sum is to submit the death claim to the life insurance company. So it's always very important that your beneficiary that you choose on your application, at least make sure they know which company to call when you pass. That's another thing that happens. There are millions of dollars of life insurance that goes unclaimed. So you want to make sure the beneficiary
I never knew
knows. Well, yeah, because they're not just notified that you passed. Like, if you pass, you know, I don't know if you mind me saying this, but I know you have Mutual of Omaha. Mutual of Omaha is not just going to know that you passed. You know, your beneficiary has to call into the company, file a death, submit the death certificate for the death claim, and then they'll wire the money to you, to the beneficiary. I mean, obviously.
Honestly,
yeah. But yeah.
right. No, I understand. Is there things different? Like, let's say if someone was in the military, if it was a retired military person who passed and they had life insurance. I know some people have some issues. Do they go through the same process as filing their widow or whatever would file a death claim, and to submit a death certificate? They go through the same process, or are they treated differently?
They go through the same process.
The same process. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you mentioned there's other financial services. So we got the life insurance part, we understand that part there, but there's also other services that you offer. Let's dive into that a little bit about the other financial services, the products that you offer, Ashli.
Yeah, there's Index Universal Life Insurance, where you can invest money into the stock market, where you're only participating in the gains. And it also serves as life insurance as well, but you can overpay on your premiums in order to build cash value quicker than what the policy is already building at. So you'll have people dumping, $500 a month, sometimes thousands of dollars a month. And the reason they do that is because with those types of policies, it participates in the growth with the stock market, specifically the S&P 500. There's also participating whole life products that exist that also allow you to achieve the infinite banking concept, where the policy is growing cash value as well, similar to a universal policy, and you can take loans and borrow the money from it. The one thing with whole life is the cash value is guaranteed. So there is that. And then there also are annuities. And what annuities are is when you roll over money from a 401k or an IRA into an annuity. And what that does is it protects it from any losses. So it'll just say you are rolling in $100,000 in it'll never be less than $100,000. It's going to participate in the gains every single year. And you'll be able to set it up where it's either paying you out monthly for life, or there are different ways you can set up an annuity. But essentially, it's like Social Security. Like, it's very similar to that. To like with Social Security, it's something you pay into from the moment you turn 18. But there's some, if you're self-employed, you're not really you don't really pay, you pay into Social Security separately, but it's not as much. So you can get an annuity, but you have to dump the money into it, and then it'll grow for you, and you can set it up to pay out for X amount of time after you hit a certain age.
Yes. I'm going to ask you last two questions here, and we'll wrap it up. So what happens if you miss a payment or your premium is late? What happens to individuals?
Yeah, the insurance company does give us a certain time frame to kind of get that premium in. They're not just going to immediately cancel your policy. So what I do for my clients, that's part of the customer service that I do, which you don't get a lot of the time with other agents, because this industry has a very high turnover rate, meaning, a lot of people get into this industry, but over 95% of people don't make it past their first year. So it's like a lot of the times you could be sold a policy, but you don't know where that agent is or whatnot. But for me, I've done it for so long, and one thing I do is I always immediately notify my clients, because I am emailed when you miss a payment. And the insurance company does give us time. I just have to communicate to them that you plan on getting it. And they give you time to actually pay it's different for every company, but typically as long as it's like within a month. You just have to keep in mind, like, if you missed a payment for a month, you can make the payment, but then shortly after you have the following month's premium due. So it's kind of can get
They'll
backed
be rolling
up.
around.
It'll be just rolling right
Every
back
time.
around. But what's nice about an IUL or some sort of permanent option is if you have cash value, say it's you're 5 years into making premium payments and your cash value is at $3,000, $4,000, and your monthly premium is only $100 a month, at that time when you are far into the policy where it's got some cash value growth, you can call the insurance company and be like, can you use some of the cash value to make this month's premium payment? And that is something you can do as well. So that is what's really nice about the permanent policies, and it's more expensive for smaller policy coverage amounts than like a term, but there's so much more use of the policy and your money, and it's so much easier for that type of policy to last forever because they are saving a portion of your premium, and you can access that money and use it to make your monthly premium payments or as an emergency savings account. But that's something that you can do as well if you miss a premium payment.
Okay, and the last question, thank you so much for that. What happens to a life insurance plan? Let's say if you move out of the state or out of the country. Some people, I know some people actually they're literally leaving the U.S. to go live in another country. So are they still covered if it goes? Okay.
You're still covered, yes. With the majority of these life insurance companies that I work with, it doesn't matter where you pass away, when, or how. They do require you to be a citizen but there is actually, there's 2 companies where you don't have to be a citizen. And then almost all of them, you just at least need a green card or visa. So to be here just legally. But, if you go live out of the country, you're born in America, you're still a citizen here. You're forever a citizen. So it doesn't really affect you that much. You can keep paying on the policy. And if you pass abroad, it'll still pay out to whoever is listed as the beneficiary.
Okay.
Nothing really changes if you're a citizen and you move out of the country.
Okay. I never knew that. That was an interesting thing. I was like, it never crossed my mind. So let me ask her because I do not know. There's so many things that we do not know.
There is, and then nobody reads their 90-page, policy documents. It is in there.
It is in there. You're right. I'm guilty because I didn't. I was like, man, what? I'm like, what is this? Okay, let me just ask her because I don't. I'm like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And they do speak in another language almost. It's what does this word mean? If I surrender the policy, they just talk in such a weird way in the documents. But yeah.
Right.
No worries.
You guys are the experts, though. You're the experts, though. Well, how can people get in touch with you? How can they get scheduled on your calendar to get their life insurance policy going? And let's get you booked.
Best way is to, I love that. The best way is just to literally DM me on any one of my social media or shoot me a text. My number is my work line, so you can shoot me a text. My direct line is 216-278-4835. I'm Ashli.Shanti on my for Instagram, and that is spelled ASHLI.SHANTI. And then on Facebook, I'm Ashli Cleaver. LinkedIn, Ashli Cleaver Bascom. So either of those work, honestly. Also got a TikTok now going. That's Ashli Shanti. At Ashli Shanti. There's no dot. So sure, Monique will put some sort of link or title or something with my contact, my phone number and whatever social you prefer to contact me at, and just shoot me a DM and I'll be able to put you in my calendar that way.
For sure. Well, we'd like to thank you, Ashli, for coming on and educating us on the world of life insurance. Yes. You guys get booked and get in contact with Ashli to get your life insurance, because we are not always going to be supporting your GoFundMe and your Cash App donations to cover funeral expenses. You have a live representative here that can assist you. Don't mean we won't help you. However, we have to change the way we do things, ladies and gentlemen. But until next time, you guys stay up, be blessed, and peace. Here's a message from our sponsors.
Hey y'all, it's Taisha and Bryant, the Parent Healer, and I support the Simply Monique Show, a show for real people about real conversation. Tune in every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am the founder, CEO of We Have a Purpose Incorporated, a nonprofit organization that provides prevention and intervention services for at-risk youth and their families. I am also the owner of Resilient Family Wellness, where we specialize in parent and emotional distress coaching. We believe that our parents must heal so our kids can live and break from the cycle of pain. Speaking of pain, have you ever been involved in a car accident? If so, have your attorney contact us for your coaching after the crash, where we enhance your life and your settlement. Remember, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. While we're here, head on over to www.taishaandbrian.com and grab my books, Imperfectly Perfect, 3 Steps on the Parenthood Journey, and Resilience Over Regret, a journey of teen pregnancy, faith, love, and family. Yep, your girl's an author too. Again, this is Taisha and Bryant, the Parent Healer, and I support the Simply Monique Show. My husband and I are tuned in every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I love y'all because I can, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I am Jared Lasky of Fireborn Ministries, and I was graciously hosted by Monique on her radio show. I want you to know that I fully endorse her and partner with her in her entrepreneurial, kingdom-focused outreach. I'd also hosted her on my podcast, Adventures in the Spirit with Jared Lasky, as she shared her real, raw, authentic story. She has paid the price for the call of God on her life and has come out stronger, walking in God's favor. She's an inspiration impacting tens of thousands of lives through her cutting-edge radio ministry and programming. And there is more in store for her. As you support her, you are partnering with a dynamic woman and ministry to see more lives like yours drawn closer to Jesus and to be impacted by eternity.
Choices all on you, on how we should move. I'll let you decide, 'cause I'm tired of fighting. I'ma sit back and enjoy the ride. Been a real long time since I seen sunshine through my darkest skies. I love it when you drive. I can sit back and enjoy the ride. When I tried it my way, it was all wrong. All the friends that I had, they were long gone. Did the best that I could to be strong. Thought about letting go, but I held on. Now I need you to choose how I should move. By your side, that's a win, and I can't lose. Still, I'ma need your strength when I get weak. So you can drive, I can ride in the backseat. Go where you take me. Yeah. I know I won't always understand. Where we're going, but I'll take a chance. And even if it get confusing, I'll be doing whatever you choose.
Choices all on you, on how we should move. I'll let you decide. 'Cause I'm tired of fighting. I'll sit back and enjoy the ride.
Been a real long
time since I've seen sunshine through the darkest skies. Love it when you drive. I'll sit back and enjoy the ride.
When the road got dark, you lit the path to the green pasture. Letting I follow, chasing right after you. And that's the truth, that won't less of me. I need more of you, till thy will be done. When you call, I'll come. Till your kingdom come. God, it's a race to run. Oh, I know I won't always understand where we're going, but I'll take a chance. And even if it get confusing, I'll be doing whatever you choose.
Choices all on you, on how we should move. I'll let you decide.
'Cause I'm tired of fighting.
I'll sit back and enjoy the ride.
It had been so long.
Been a real long time seen sunshine through the darkest
through the darkest sky.
Now that we drive, I'll sit back and enjoy the ride.
Choices all on you. Hey,
now that we drive,
I'll sit back and enjoy the ride. Sit back and enjoy the ride. I trust you. I believe that you